You want to introduce everybody, Riley?
What's up, guys? I'm Riley. I'm with Dan and with our guest today, Chris Adams. Awesome.
Yep.
Chris is a flight nurse for Life Flight here locally. Yeah, I'm sure he's got some cool stories and a unique product too we're going to go over today.
And you're out of Coeur d'Alene?
Yeah, currently I work in Coeur d'Alene, Life Flight 85.
I see you have Washington plates on your vehicle.
I live in Colbert.
Colbert, Washington.
Just north of Green Bluff.
Oh, I know where Colbert is,
Oh, yeah,
dude.
I know you
I
know where
actually went to
Colbert is.
Colbert Elementary for, I want to say, a stint of 3 months.
Dude,
For real.
they kick you out?
No,
I'm just kidding.
The elementary I was supposed to go to was full, so we had just moved here from Elk, Washington, which is way north.
My buddy lives in Elk.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. You can bring your mic down a little
Okay.
so we can see. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
You're a good-looking dude.
Uh,
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed, 6 foot
that's what they tell
3.
me.
How tall are you?
6'5" on paper.
6'5".
When
you dunk?
When I'm feeling good about myself, I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still dunk?
I used to be able to dunk. I don't really play basketball,
Yeah.
but I mean, I can dunk.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't. But I've never played basketball.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
35.
I'll be 36 September 5th.
Another September baby. We've decided
Yeah.
everybody's birthday's in September.
Dude.
Everybody's parents are doing it in December.
It's cold.
That's it's like the third podcast in a row we've had that mentioned. So,
Oh, dude, that's great. Yeah.
so how do you like Colbert, Washington?
I love it.
You do.
Yeah. So the first house that I bought, South Hill starter home, I bought cheap, little 640 square feet, right next to Rockwood Bakery. You know,
I know exactly.
the little 1718 South Ottawa,
Oh yeah.
right between the two, right in the middle. My mom owns the house now because I sold it to her because it's like, don't get rid of real estate unless you have to in the family.
Yeah.
You know, so she owns it now. But yeah, that was an awesome spot. It was kind of close to the hospitals. I was working at Holy Family at the time, but
Okay.
Not Sacred Heart.
Yeah, I know where Holy is.
Yeah,
What floor?
I was ICU.
Oh, okay.
I started ACU, was like there for 8 months, and then ICU for almost 8 years. And then I've been on flight for like 4.5 at Life Flight. And it's just been a wild time in medicine. I've learned so much and I've learned more about myself, I think, than, medicine is like repeat the cycle you learn, but I've learned a lot about everything and I really appreciate where I've been. Holy Family is a great little place. The ER is wild. It's in a wild place. It's in Hilliard,
It is.
Yeah, so Hilliard is wild, and that ER is a wild ER, and they see everything. So it's like Holy's the kind of redheaded stepchild in Spokane, but actually they do a good job. And
Riley, you were born there.
I
just so
was
you
born
know.
there.
I was there.
Yeah,
That's how old I am. That's how young you are. Just so you know.
yeah, their OB floor now is awesome.
Okay.
Their OB suites are cool.
Is there a Life Flight out of Feltsfield as well?
Yeah, so that is Life Flight 15 is the rotor, Life Flight 17 is the fixed wing. There's we're 85 in Coeur d'Alene. There's a lot of bases. I could run through them real quick. So
Might as well.
Lewiston, Pullman, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Moses Lake, Richland, Brewster, Aurora, Pendleton, LeGrand, recently expanding to Hawaii, Port Angeles, the Dalles, Salem. There's Life Flight, and that's
so
not
Life
all
Flight's
of them.
like AMR. You're like a third party.
So Life Flight is actually owned by. It's actually a nonprofit owned by like OHSU, Legacy Emmanuel, Providence, and I want to say Lourdes. But we as clinical providers, like, we don't interact with like that very much. We're just kind of like, oh yeah, we're owned by hospital systems. We're a nonprofit. But I actually kind of view Life Flight as this region's transport. Like, we are, and there's Airlift Northwest as well, which is UW's flight program.
Okay.
And they're awesome as well, but they just don't have the presence. They have one in Davenport. And then they've got like more or less west of the Cascades, and but they do respond around here as well. But there's just one rotor in Davenport, so we kind of they do calls, we do calls, and I'm glad that there's another one there so we can get some sleep sometimes.
How long is your shift?
24 hours.
How many days off afterwards?
So my current schedule is I'm actually officially a 0.9 FTE, which means I do 3 24s in 2 weeks. And those are, my schedule repeats. It's Friday, Sunday, Tuesday. And then I have like 8 days off, which gives me amazing time.
I love
for
that
family.
it's fixed and it's not like rando.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
It's so good. And for the kids, like, so basically it's 24 on, 24 off. The schedule kind of can be dynamic if there's need or whatever, but the schedule can change. But more or less, I've had the same shift, the same schedule at 85, the base that I work at. And I work with like, there's 4 nurses, 4 medics, and 4 pilots at a base, at a single rotor base. So my partners are the medics because we fly nurse medic. And I work with like 4 dudes. Well, actually 3 dudes. And there's a lady named Kathy who she's more or less like my work mom. And she always like apologizes for yelling at me. It's like, it's okay. I'm used to like, you're my mom. You can yell at me, you know? And she's like, shut up, Chris. But she's really cool. My partners are amazing. And we have these tight bonds where really we rely on each other. We rely on each other more than you do in any other job.
It's
like
interesting that you guys have a pilot, a medic, and a nurse. When I was in the fire department, it was basically an engineer, a medic, and then like an EMT.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, obviously a nurse is a step up from an EMT because of just the education.
So would a paramedic be? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They fly nurse medic because of kind of the scope of practice and trying to bring in the best of both worlds. So like nurses grew up in the ICU or the ER, and medics grew up on the streets, you know? And so you kind of get that and put it together as a team.
It makes sense.
And you kind of can walk in, because we do interfacility transports, right? Where just the other night we fly down to like Orofino a bunch, and these little hospitals that are rural critical access hospitals that are limited on resources and they can just do what they do. So, you know, after you've been in flight for a while, you kind of like blend, and like I don't really feel like you're just a nurse anymore or you're a medic. You kind of have the hybrid, because on the streets you don't take care of a patient in the ICU for 2 weeks. You don't see where they go physiologically. You don't see what the result is of it. You don't see them on event and like understand, you know, how that works over a 2-week period.
Right.
But a nurse doesn't go in, and a nurse never sees a trauma on the street, you know? So if you were to take a nurse and put them right into flight, they have a huge learning curve. And if you were to put a medic right into an ICU, they'd have a huge learning curve. So you kind of like put them together and you get a really good team that can operate and facilitate and do really well. And then after you've been there a while, you kind of like turn into kind of like a hybrid. Both go, you know, the medic comes a hybrid and the nurse. But it's really, that's like the wrong way to look at it. It's just medicine. Like we just do the job. Yeah.
So the first question I really have is, how many times have you responded to a Garmin InReach SOS? That's what I want to know.
A few.
Really?
So just the other day, it wasn't me, but I've done it a few times. And just the other day, there was a false alarm. And our base went out and flew around. And then, oh yeah, actually it was a false alarm. So they're real. They work. And it's more about like knowing when to use it and knowing that kind of situation. But they do work. They work. And I've had a few responses that really weren't, it wasn't a critical patient. It was like a broken bone, but they just can't ambulate. You know, it's like
they need help getting off the mountain.
Yeah, they just need a ride.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe some fentanyl, you know, like little pain meds.
Yeah.
Even that, they could just take a dose of Triactin, you know, Triactin like a man.
He's got jokes, and I like them.
That was a good one.
I'm here for it.
We have dark humor. You know?
No, you have to, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Garmin
But no, seriously, though,
SOS
sometimes
does work.
Yeah,
folks.
it works. It works. Yeah, absolutely.
What's that call look like coming into you guys, like as far as your dispatch?
So
just says SOS. Here's your longitude, latitude. Go.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know that it's a Garmin InReach.
Okay.
For clinical crew, we actually get very little information from dispatch as a design to mitigate the potential for putting ourselves in situations and assuming extra risk. So, for instance, there's evidence that shows back in the day, if you knew it was a 4-year-old
I understand.
burn,
Yeah.
you might fly through that cloud.
Yeah.
You might go willing to push yourself a little farther. So that's the model that Lifelight uses, is that it's very much about safety, and we won't risk the crew for a patient. But it's a well-oiled machine, and there's ways to deal with that. Like, it doesn't mean we won't go. It means like, hey, what's the other option? Like, it's not like, hey, we can't do the flight. In some situations it is, like if it's January and if it's, fog and everywhere, it's like we are not getting off the ground. The helicopter's in the hangar and we're just chilling, waiting for the weather. Or we can assist and we can go on a ground ambulance and be the crew. So like Kootenai Fire might pick us up, or we'll go on another asset, but we're the medical crew. So there's ways to kind of deal with that, but we won't go take a flight. So they don't tell us much information. They give us like a patient weight. And for scene calls, we don't get anything. We just get a grid and go. And then, that's how they make it safe.
That makes sense.
Or at least safer. Yeah. So
yeah, because you would push it if it was a 4-year-old burning, or
even if you think you wouldn't.
Yeah. Like,
it's just subconscious.
Human nature.
Yeah, you're like
you're going to push it.
No, I'm good. Let's go.
And you're no benefit if you're taking major risks to get there. So what's your spread on car accidents versus all other type instances? I'm assuming like you guys are doing a lot of that.
Yeah. So demographics on why people die and how people die. Most people die from cardiac arrest or stroke, right? Leading cause of death, like MI or stroke. Those are demographic things, right? The car accidents, the traumas, those are at a high rate, but they're usually an association with multi-substance abuse and stuff like that, almost like all the time, or distracted driving or something like that. But the way it works is like we don't respond to 911 calls. We get called by ground, and you probably know that already. Yeah. So it depends on what base you're at. The base that I'm at, because of where we are, we're kind of in that rural area where we do get a lot of car wrecks and trauma, as well as rural interfacilities. So we
what is your boundary? Because you guys are in North Idaho, right? You could be, I could see you heading to Montana potentially.
Yeah. So just the other day, I went and did a transport from Plains to Kalispell, Logan Health, and that was the transport. The patient leg was actually Plains to Kalispell. So we flew over from 85, Coeur d'Alene. 85 is the base.
How long did that take in a helicopter?
It's about a 50-minute flight. Depends on the headwind. Yeah. Depends on the crew, the weight.
How fast is that helicopter?
About 135 knots, maybe 140.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. Damn. Yeah. So that's a Bell 407. That's what Lifelight has right now. It has a few other helicopters in the fleet, EC-135s, Bell 429, but most of the fleet is 407s at this point. And that's just kind of the aviation side.
Do you know any of the nurses at the Phelps location?
Yeah.
Do you know Jen?
Is she on the Jen? What's her last name?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Well, because there's a
she
Jen
came
on
to my gym for years when I owned a gym in the Valley.
There's a Jen on the NICU team. Was she a NICU?
She might. No.
Well, so there's Jen Middleton up in Sandpoint.
No.
Okay, so there was Jen.
She's crazy.
So
we nicknamed her Snort because she would snort when she laughed.
Oh, that's not Middleton. That's Jen up in Sandpoint. She's in Sandpoint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We called her Snort.
So she patched in yesterday. She was on shift yesterday.
Oh, cool.
At 85.
You ever see her, you gotta tell her I said what's up.
I will.
I absolutely I loved coaching.
I love how small Spokane is.
Oh, it's tiny.
You know, it's like 3 degrees of separation.
Oh,
3
for
degrees
sure.
of Spokane. It's like, but yeah, I'm blanking out on her last name too, but
I can't remember, but I know Snort. That's all I know.
She's at 83, which is Sandpoint.
Sandpoint.
She flies
okay.
out of Sandpoint.
Yeah. Riley, ask him some like questions that you have. I know you're just.
I mean, the question everybody wants to know to make the pod juicy is like, what's your craziest call, or what are some of them?
My goodness.
Let's go.
Well, oh, dude. Well, there's actually like the crazy is kind of like, I mean, motorcycle wrecks, Newton's laws of mass conservation, right? Like you see people fall apart when velocity happens. So like what most people would be like, oh, that's crazy is just like, that's all the time in terms of just general trauma.
Yeah.
So like crazy to me isn't general trauma. Like crazy to me isn't just the wreck, crazy to me is like the whole situation. Like this specific one was just wild. And there was one that I went to where it was a motorcycle wreck, but it was not on the street. It was a dirt bike up in the mountains. Guy got actually just wrecked, exploded his spine. He hit a cross tree sideways, and I spent 3 hours up there in the mountain stabilizing him by myself because we couldn't get comms. So we kind of opted to split up. My pilot and my medic lifted up to call for Two Bear for evac. Are you familiar with Two Bear Air?
Nope.
So Two Bear Air is a nonprofit out of Kalispell. It's like this super rich dude who is awesome, and he basically created this flight hoist company that uses a Bell 429 to service our area when we need it. So
hopefully I never see him.
Yeah, so if you need to get hoisted, we're going to use Two Bear. That's our first choice because they're private and they're well greased. The other option is like the sheriff helicopter, and they have an hour to muster, which means your potential time in the field could be longer. It's an awesome resource, but I'm going to choose Two Bear first, and then they're going to be next. I would love for them to get more aggressive and better, but that's a process. They've just got it going. So hopefully in the future they can like have a better system that, is like, I don't like when I hear you have an hour to get there. Like we have 8 minutes to launch, and now it's changing to 10, day and night. We used to have a different like day versus night. So if we're sleeping, we get a call, we have 8 minutes to be in the air. And that includes like getting all of our gear. The helicopter's stocked, ready to go outside on the dolly, but you have to get up, from sleep, throw your stuff on, get out the door, do all the stuff, and don't screw up. So it's always like, it's about habitualization of the good habit so that, you can cognitively download or cognitively offload. You're not really thinking about these things as much, but it's the habit. Like the habit is, you've greased that habit. So you're like, narcs, helmet, goggles, we're off,
Yeah.
Um,
That was my least favorite part. Like I was an engineer for a while. I wouldn't even say engineer. I just drove. I drove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I drove the engine because it was like a 2-man deal.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even call myself an engineer. But I'm freaking driving this thing, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the deepest sleep. And I hated that part. Like especially here in the winter.
Tones go off. You're like,
I'm like, and I would try, like, sometimes I'd even sleep in my actual uniform and just have my boots right there ready to go. And these weren't boots with laces.
Yeah.
And I'd still get beat to the engine by, like, the other guy.
Yeah,
and I'm
dude.
like, how did you beat me? I literally slept in my uniform. But, I
but
hated
it's
driving
like,
it in the winter. The winter
that guy
was the worst.
wasn't sleeping.
He wasn't.
That's how he beat you.
Yeah.
Like,
and it happened a lot
Yeah.
where I was getting frustrated because I'm kind of competitive. But I hated having to drive.
Yeah.
And it's snowing and the roads are icy. And it's your ass if you crash it and all that stuff. Anyways, my question for you as far as like, you mentioned motorcycles and then you mentioned the mountains. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, so there is an abundance of single track dirt bike trails in North Idaho compared to most places.
That's
in the
where
world.
this happened.
Is that what that was?
That's where this was. Yeah. And I can't go into it too much, obviously.
Yeah, don't give it away.
But like, it was a really gnarly situation where he slammed himself into a, frontal lobe, like the tree had been cut and it was across the single track, but they didn't cut that down.
Nope.
So they limbed it, but they didn't cut that down, and there were 2 of them.
And he probably wasn't going slow.
No, because they were good riders.
Yep.
Like pro level riders.
Yep.
50 miles an hour.
You're gonna lose
Exploded
every time.
Exploded his entire C-spine, upper thoracics, massive spinal hematoma. I was like,
So was he conscious when you arrived?
so he was conscious when I arrived. positive loss of consciousness.
Yeah.
But when I got up there, he was awake, and I didn't take all the gear because you can't take all the gear. So I had to do a quick little okay. So I took monitor, took my jump bag, which has like narcs and ACLS meds, and I took blood just in case. But the dude was normotensive, like 100 on, sinus at 100 and satin 95 on room air. So I'm like, thank the Lord that I don't have to do this by myself, because my partner and the pilot had lifted, because basically the plan was, hey, we don't know where this guy is. We don't know if there's an LZ up there. We don't know if we can access this guy. So I'll go make patient contact, and you guys go up, call Two Bear, and go loiter above me after I get to patient contact. After we kind of made that plan, we got up there, we did it, and then they go back down and land, and then we're waiting for Two Bear. And eventually it all unfolds and we get the guy off the mountain. But it was like about 3 hours because there were some complications with ETA and just they were busy and stuff like that. But yeah, sitting up there, that was kind of the wildest. It really wasn't the most traumatic.
Yeah, but that's wild.
It was wild.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I mean in terms of like the trauma is actually more normal. I mean, because it happens at a higher rate, like the demographics of trauma, like the 18-year-old at 3 a.m. that rolls his car that you code and he dies.
Yep.
Like, that's a super unfortunate, sad situation. But that's why 18 to 35-year-olds die from trauma. It's just, they do that, I mean, if you're young, you're more likely to die from trauma, right?
Mm-hmm. Riley, do me a favor, grab that med kit too.
Yeah.
You reached out to me and said, hey, you had an idea. And,
I do.
And I was like, I'd rather just not read about it in an email.
Yeah.
Can you just come over? And so I want to get into
Well, I like that too, because I'm a super hey, let me just tell you and see where we're at kind of thing. So yeah, basically throughout my medical kind of exposure and career, I've always seen problems and I'm like, why don't we do something about this? And since I actually had this idea, I was actually out hunting up in Unit 4 solo, and I stayed after dark because I usually night bugle, and I'm also solo, which is what do predators like? They like elk and noise and stuff. So I was sitting there night bugling, just was planning on just hiking back up, and it was about 8 miles back to where I was camped because I hadn't yet gotten into the mindset of spike camping as much.
Sure.
At the time, and I wasn't yet spike camping is the only way.
I'm still like that. I try not to spike camp unless I absolutely
unless there's
have
a need.
to.
Well, I mean, you can kill elk anywhere, but sometimes there's just some elk in an area.
Yeah.
That the logistics of moving back and forth means you just have less time to hunt and be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I always hunted solo, because too much noise and too many plans. Sometimes you just need to be there and be an elk,
You're hitting some elk hunting nuggets right there. Dive a little deeper. Preach a good word. I mean,
so
solo, faster decision making.
Yeah.
No powwowing.
No powwowing.
What do you think we should do?
Well,
Riley?
also
I don't.
Sometimes people will let the other dude make a decision, even though they know that their decision is better. Hey, I want to do this at this time, and then the other guy's like, well, I want to check out this drainage. And you're like, but there's I saw this bull yesterday over here and he was responding to me, or I heard him.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's bulls in this drainage. I don't leave elk to find elk. It's that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I ended up hunting solo, and my hunting life has all been mostly solo up until fairly recently, where I've had a few buddies that are wanting to be kind of stupid with me, where it's
they want to get rowdy.
Yeah. And actually, Reggie Oakes and Tyler Riggs, they're some of my main hunting buddies right now. But Reggie is an absolute animal. He's an ultra runner.
Oh, yeah.
And we started hiking.
Watch out for those dudes.
Oh, yeah. We started hiking at 5 p.m. and it was night bugling the whole ridge. 11:30 p.m., I get the first response.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 miles away. Around midnight, he shows up 5 miles away, 5 feet away from us. We have a storm. We have a west to east storm wind on a rock slope, so he can't get around us. for about 4 hours, I sat there and had a bugle battle in the middle of the night with the biggest bull that I've ever seen. My plan was to hold him out until I could see him.
Oh, that's committed.
All night.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hey, he's here. I mean, we're almost at light. Let's go. He finally got tired, went down a little bit. I know he's close.
Yeah.
So then we had to make a decision because we were just supposed to go for a little night hike, a night bugle, like a little locator. That's what I've been doing and my scouting these days is like night shift. And actually, I'm thankful that I have a flight nurse because I got really good at staying up all night.
Yeah, you did.
So like I can walk around all night, bugle on foot in the middle of nowhere and find elk because no one else, I'm not a human anymore. No one is up in the middle of the night, bugling. So they fully expect there's no reason for them to be like, obviously you still have to like not be dumb with your calls.
Or get winded.
Yeah. So that's why it's like more of like let's just locate. So we're just doing locate bugles, just little locate bugle here. And it's like really casual. We're not bugling a bunch. It's like, we're going to hike like a mile and then bugle once, maybe wait 10 minutes, bugle again there, and then move. So
I just want to tell you that people have I've had 8 years of this talking about it on this pod. And I still get messages of like clarification. Can you please clarify? So you're literally walking on a ridge in a direction further from your truck at midnight, knowing that you're going to be hunting at daylight. And I'm telling them, yes.
Wait, you night bugle?
I invented night bugling, bro. No, I didn't. I got to give a shout out to a guy who may listen to this. His name's Chad Vineyard. He's this old boy out of St. Mary's, Idaho. He, in 2001, took me elk hunting, and he said, "Do you have any beer?" And I was looking at him, and I was like, "Oh, great, this guy just wants to party." He wanted to drive. We didn't hike bugle, but we drove logging roads. He might have drank beer the whole time, and he night bugle, and he located literally 6 bulls.
Yeah.
We didn't get back till camp till like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I thought this guy was insane. But literally, fast forward. I would say within 10 minutes of legal shooting light, my dad's at full draw on a 6-point bull in 2001 because of night bugling.
Yeah, exactly. Right. There's elk everywhere. You just need to figure out which ones are hot. You just need to figure out which ones want to brawl.
You're checking temperature.
Like, it's like, because people are like, oh, there's no elk up here. I'm like, you obviously don't know the species and the area we live in. There are so many elk in every area. They just know that you're a human, or they just don't want to talk.
They're not into it right now.
They're not into it. So nighttime, locate them. And that first night that I was out with my buddy Reggie, it was then we hunted. Well, so we slept under a tree for 2 hours on the side of a mountain, spooned, it was little shiver bivvy, no gear. I had 3 chocolate croissants in my pack.
But you got a bow.
Oh yeah,
that's all.
And we have tags.
You got tags.
We got tags and bow, and
hopefully a knife.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. kill kit, bow.
Yeah.
And my buddy Reggie, who's like infinitely bad at like estimating how many calories he needs.
Yep.
Even though he's an ultra runner and he has like 350 calories every hour during his ultras, which it's kind of good for like me picking his brain. But I have background in like physiology, and so I understand caloric need and all that stuff.
Sure.
And like calories are everything for performance, right? I mean, and hydration and electrolytes. But point was, we were just going out down this ridge, and our plan was to go locate the bulls and then come back to the truck and then make a plan in the morning. And then it grew into, we're going to hunt this bull in 2 hours.
I love it.
And I think that day I called in 3 bulls for Reggie, because he hasn't killed an elk with a bow yet, and I've killed enough to let him have that moment and try to. It's all about
You're
that.
a good hunting partner.
For that, like, I didn't even take my bow out last year. I just called, and to me, hunting is hunting. Like, I don't have to be the one killing.
Sure.
Like, killing the animal is not hunting the animal, and my skill as a hunter doesn't have to even have me have a tag. Like, I wish people could understand that about their units that they're hunting. It's like, dude, you can go hunt Montana right now. Doesn't mean you have to kill a bull. You can go learn Montana hunting. You can go play with, don't bring a gun, don't bring a firearm, don't bring anything, so that the feds know that you're not trying to kill anything.
The federales?
Yeah, los federales. Because you don't want to put yourself in a dangerous situation, you know, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation even in general, of like you're tired, you know, you don't want to have any error there. So just don't bring anything you can kill an elk with. And then everyone knows you're actually above reproach. You're not trying to kill an elk in the middle of the night. I'm just trying to find him.
Mm-hmm.
Even like taking pictures of elk. Like I wanted to get into elk photography. And like, I think that would be awesome to do in a state that I can't hunt because I didn't draw or whatever, but bandwidth, you know, I can't do that because I just don't have enough time.
Trail cams just changed forever. With Stealth Cam Live View, you don't wait, you watch, real time. With 360-degree coverage, real-time streaming to your phone, and unmatched image clarity and battery life, you're always in position. From full circle vision, elite 4K detail, and non-stop dual-core performance, Stealth Cam gives you the tools for success. Real time, real intel, no rivals. The all-new line of trail cameras by Stealth Cam.
Guys, blackovis.com carries just about everything under the sun. I personally shop there for a lot of my backcountry needs, including freeze-dried meals. If you ever make an order, you'll realize how fast their shipping is, and their customer service is on point. If you make a mistake on your order, the wrong size, they'll easily get you a return label and get you squared away. Also, if you're looking for custom arrows, I mean, you want to do real bougie builds or something basic, they got you. They can cut your arrows to whatever length, add whatever components, and put whatever arrow vein configuration you want. If you use the discount code DIALED25 at checkout on Arrow ID, it'll get you the lightning service, and those arrows will be at your doorstep. So if you're going to do some shopping, please check out blackovis.com. Throw in the discount code ELKSHAPE. It'll save you 10%.
Hey guys, Joe here at Initial Ascent. I'm going to interrupt the podcast real quick. Dan doesn't know this, but I'm going to interrupt it. Hey, if you guys haven't heard, there's a buzz out there right now about Initial Ascent, and it has to do everything with carrying heavy loads more comfortably. If you've never tried our packs on, you need to come check it out. We actually have the ability to hang the weight on the sides, which allows you to stand more upright. It's going to absolutely save your back. If you haven't checked it out, come try us on initialascent.com.
But
That's interesting you say that. Riley and I have actually, I don't even know if you're going now, but I'm going to Estes Park sometime in October. Literally almost as excited about that as I am on some of my hunting trips, because I'm bringing the long lens, and I hope you get to go on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to go experience Jurassic Park and just kill elk with my camera.
Yeah.
And I'm
exactly.
literally, like, that's how much I love elk. And that's something that anti-hunters will never understand, is that the guy who murders them and eats them year round absolutely treasures them,
Well,
and
that's
would love to just go take pictures of them.
Yeah. You rewind 1,000 years, you rely on that species.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a connection.
There's a connection. It's impossible to separate that in a
So you guys
hunter-gatherer society.
sleep on the mountain, no sleeping bags. You had this
it starts
bull,
raining on us.
of course, but
and
you
we
had
met-
this bull fired up.
Super fired
Then he
up,
cooled
dude.
off a little. You waited for it to get light.
We waited for it to get light.
What was your plan of attack as soon as daylight started to break?
So we had never been into this area before.
Yeah.
This was the first stab, right? And it's an appropriate stab because you're going in there at dark. It was actually the night before the opener on a B tag in Unit 4.
All right, so the opener would be October 10th, so this would be October
No,
9th.
rifle. Not rifle. Opener for archery.
Oh,
so
archery
fish.
B
Yeah,
tag. Okay.
archery B tag. So I didn't have time. I didn't get an A tag because I was on shift in Pullman.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of do the online thing, I just went to Tri-State Outfitters, and all they had left was B tags. I got off shift after Pullman at like 10 because I was charting, and drove over to Moscow, picked up my B tag. So that was when you could still.
That's going to be a while ago,
Yeah,
bro. You can't
yeah.
do that shit no more.
Well, that was three years ago.
That's
this one.
incredible.
Yeah, that was that. But I learned don't buy your tags online. Go to the little 7-Eleven. Go to Tri-State Outfitters.
Why are you giving away that?
Like, but you can't do it anymore.
Not anymore.
Now it's all done. So like,
what you can do is become a resident in Idaho.
I
High
know.
five, Riley. High
Yeah.
five. And
Yeah,
then
right.
we haven't even bought our elk tags yet, but we're gonna go buy them on the gas station on the way.
exactly.
I still
right?
don't even know where I'm elk hunting this year in Idaho. I haven't decided. That's crazy, isn't that? Don't worry. I've been a non-res in Washington hunting Idaho since 2001.
Yeah.
Literally have never missed an elk season
Yeah.
in Idaho. So
Yeah.
I know why don't you live in Idaho?
It's coming
Okay.
for more than one reasons, but elk hunting for sure, the political stuff, all of it's combined. I work in Idaho. Like I pay,
What if I
I
told
pay
you-
Idaho's taxes on my work, but I don't live in Idaho.
I know, right? So you're already paying the tax.
I'm like, so when people are like, "Oh, you're not from here," I'm like, I pay stuff.
I pay my way.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you'll eventually drift over to the other side of the border.
most likely.
So we
It's-
moved
it's
to
more
Idaho.
It's more about land because I do cows and raise cows at home,
Mhm.
and I want to have an area that I can raise cows.
Well, unfortunately, here to tell you, it's
land.
not apples to apples as far as dollar for dollar.
No, I know. That's just for me.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like the prices are insane.
They are, but I would probably buy raw land and then build,
Yeah.
and then build it myself.
Yeah.
So
With
you
those
pay
8 days
you pay
off.
for labor in building costs more than you pay for materials.
I'm
It's
doing it right
insane.
now. They just poured footings yesterday
Yeah.
here, and I'm moving back to Washington.
Really?
Yeah. It's not like I made that decision.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like, oh, do you think that was my decision?
No.
No, I want to stay married, and my wife really
Yeah.
wants to live close to her mom, who's like mile down the road, and my dad's 2 miles down the road, and so it's like,
Well, ultimately, like, how much is a tag, right? If you can't get a tag, then that's invaluable. Meaning, not elk hunting is like. The point is, if you can get a tag, paying an out-of-state price is a lot cheaper than moving your life and moving states.
it is.
And that's been my mindset. People are like, how can you do that? I'm like, well, I can still get out-of-state tags if I do the work right. And it's way cheaper than moving my entire life and uprooting my family and moving across there just for an elk tag.
Which is what I did.
Yeah.
I
But
literally moved to Idaho for elk hunting.
that makes you be able to have control over it,
Mm-hmm.
which means you can repeat that every single year
Right.
versus be at the mercy of that system. And now we're in a draw system.
Yeah.
Which
Is unfortunate.
which is sad. But I have friends that live in Idaho. I have friends that live in Montana. So I can still hunt with them in those states, even though they're the ones with the tag killing the animal.
And you sound like you might be able to call, so you'd be an asset to the team.
I like to call. It's like I grew up playing music, and the bugle to me is an instrument.
Are you going to make some sounds on this pod or not?
Well, I can, but I mean,
he's brought a Riven,
well,
which retails for what?
I don't know. It was a gift.
Okay.
My mom gave that
It's
to me.
north of $200, bro.
Yeah.
For a tube.
So
Look at that.
this
thing.
is so the reason I brought this was because that bull that we fired up that night
Yes.
was with this, and then 3 more bulls that morning with this called in for my buddy Reggie. So anyway, back to that because we were about to talk about
Well,
that.
yeah, Reggie screwed up. How did he screw up?
Well, that wasn't really Reggie's screw up.
Okay. Sorry, Reggie. I jumped the gun, bro.
He might have screwed up, but I don't like to. I'm like I wasn't there. I wasn't behind the peep, so I didn't
Gotcha.
see the stick. I was calling, but yeah, no. So it kind of was like that. Communication is everything, right?
Sure.
Making a plan, sticking to a plan. It was a foggy morning. It was raining. We'd slept under the tree. That the bull starts bugling again. The big bull, I knew it was the same bull, and he's kind of down here, down like a couple 100 feet, and left in the top of like this bowl. But then we hear more elk bugling down low.
Satellites.
So I started a rut.
Yep.
With this, because we
Yeah.
were like, how did that happen? Why didn't that happen again? Well, it's happened because we spent 4.5 hours bugling
you were
bugling my hearts out.
broadcasting.
And every other bull got really curious.
Mhm.
And I taught myself that lesson that day accidentally of like, why did that happen? And then they just, like the next day, no one wanted to talk. But that morning, it was like just batty on that ridge. Like the bulls were going nuts. And either there was one hot cow that then got bred and then left, or it was, I think the rut isn't to be understood as like, the rut is like this drainage could be on because there's a hot cow in there.
Mm-hmm.
That one's not because there's no hot cows over there.
Mm-hmm.
If this bull doesn't ever get that scent, he's not necessarily going to be fired up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there could have been a hot cow there, but it also could have just been this because I've done it before where I'm like, they get curious. If they really think you're a bull, they really think you're a bull. Plain and simple. But yeah, we went down. This big bull was bugling off the left, and it's foggy, and Reggie just like disappears into the mist down because he hears a bull bugling down there. And I'm like, where'd you go, Reggie? Like, you're gone. We shouldn't split up on the mountain, dude. Like, obviously, I don't like to be like that. Like, we split up, and I'm like, where did you go?
Let's pause. Let's pause for a second. I think you're hinting to something that you're going to say, but I want to make sure it gets said. So I'm talking to the camera now. Chris is the caller. Chris is the quarterback. Reggie is the shooter. Reggie is going to do what the manager says. And the manager can't tell you what to do or where to set up when you just bomb off after. That's not going to work. So we liked as caller shooter scenarios, which that's how I grew up elk hunting in Idaho. So I have all my reps in the
Caller shooter.
Caller shooter.
Yeah.
Is the caller dictates everything because they can read the land and the topography and they can see where the bull is going to want to get a visual on you. So you set the shooter up where you say.
Yeah, and if I'm making sound, I need to know wind and terrain.
1,000%.
And then the operator needs to also be on the same wavelength.
Yep.
But if they're not,
and they're gone, what are you supposed to just keep him talking and hope he sneaks in? It's not going to be. Yeah. Dang.
But that was a really cool morning because there were bulls down there, and he saw a bull down there, and he wanted to go get it. But he's newer, and the learning curve is like, hey, if we have a hot bull, if we have a bull bugling, I'm going to kill that bull because of how I use this and how I trick him, or a cow call, any sort of call, right? If you're just ambushing a bull, like if you just want to go down there, and if you want to solo call a bull in, it's so much harder, right? Like,
for real.
I mean, it's insane. I solo hunted and basically only killed dumb spikes and cows when there was still any elk units in Washington that were close by.
Yeah.
Now there's really, I don't think there's any elk units on the east side anymore.
There's a few,
113
but there might not be
elk.
any elk in them.
Yeah. I don't know. Is 113 still any elk?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 113 still any elk. There's elk there. But they're all over the place, and it's still hard because there's a lot of private, and there's also grizzly bear up there. There's like this big bad grizzly up there hanging out right above Newport, and it's like the elk kind of do whatever, but elk don't pay attention to borders, so it's like that green belt comes out of northern Idaho right over there. It's the same mountain system, so I'm like, that's the unit that I've hunted, and I had quite a few cows and spikes harvested out of there because spikes are dumb and they're not experienced, and you'd get the spike running at you and I'd be like, oh, sweet. I'm not luxury of like having a bunch of time, and I always had the ethic of like, I'm here to hunt. I'm going to kill an elk if it's legal,
Why wouldn't you?
That's always what I've been, because I'm like, I have 4 days to hunt. I got to go back to work, and during that season, I had Washington tag and Idaho tag. So I was hunting Washington archery, opens up like September, I think at the time it was like September 5th, which is my birthday. So elk season opener in Washington has been on my birthday, which is pretty cool. And my wife is like, go hunt, like go have fun. But then I would like try to kill a spike or a cow or whatever I could get, and then go over and hunt Unit 4. And Unit 4 is where I'd focus on a bull.
Sure.
Because the terrain and like the non-broken up land, because I would hunt in like kind of these areas that were pocket zones. Like Eastern Washington has a lot of pocket zones, like IEP, Stimson, and Hancock. All that land owned by those companies, like you can hunt on that land, right? So I started hunting on that stuff. My growing up in elk hunting, it was like, I was on Hancock land, I was on Stimson, in and around these areas of private, finding these little micro herds that I knew were there. And it would be like, I'm going to ambush a cow, because I was like, I just want to elk hunt. I don't know anything about elk hunting. I have a bow. I bought my bow from Cabela's, like a $450 diamond provider, and I killed like 6 elk with that.
It provided.
Until one of my old coworkers was like, "Hey, I'm left eye dominant. Do you want to buy my prime black from me?" And I'm like, "Sure." So now I just hunt with that bow, but I would like to eventually get like either the PSE Levitate or something lighter. I don't know. Maybe wait for Truth to come out. Truth bows. I don't know if you've heard about them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That guy who
They're supposedly making like
he
a
started at a
3.5.
Martin, I believe. He started. Yeah. What's his name? Kevin. I can't remember his last
I
name.
don't know his name.
But yeah, he's a pretty bright guy in the Truth.
I think Black Sheep might eventually be dealing with Truth bows
Sure.
over in Coeur d'Alene. So
Sure.
Anyway, I've been like, hey, it's you. And as long as your gear's solid and straight,
Yeah.
it's you.
Get me a Cabela's box
Right.
store bow and box arrows.
Yeah, you could kill elk,
I'm good
right?
to go. It's
It's
not.
a luxury having
Yeah.
the nice
Yeah.
bow. As long as your arrow's straight, your arrow integrity is good, and you can actually put that arrow where you want it to go.
Yeah.
That's good. But
So we talked a little bit about night bugling. We talked a little bit about your history, but you did have this kit that you wanted to chat about.
this
and I'm
idea.
interested in like how much is this the kit that you're thinking about bringing to market?
So the kit is not necessarily the point. Training and readiness is more the point, and a mindset shift for everyone is more the point.
Okay.
So since I've been at Life Flight, I have never seen a bystander put on a tourniquet, despite there existing many companies that sell med kits that are really cool med kit companies, and I'm for them. And I'm like, hey, you guys are awesome. This is great, but I feel very passionately about taking care of people, and I really would feel like I've done the best I can do if someone said, because of that med kit, my son's life got saved, or, like because of that. So it's not just the med kit, it's actually changing people's consciousness and awareness about their state of being as a first responder in whatever situation they're in. Across hunting, obviously, when we go out and hunt, we put ourselves in a little extra risk, but I don't think I do because of the way I conduct myself in the woods. Like, I don't speed, I don't drink alcohol. Like, I'm very aware. But the damage we see in the woods as a life flight nurse, like, people get messed up in the woods. And then it's a logistics problem about how to get them out. So in trauma medicine, there's these windows. You know, right? The window, right?
Let's keep going. I love
the window, right? Yeah, well, we got to.
Yep.
So the window is like, the misnomer is that someone else is going to be there to help.
Yeah.
The problem is that that's not always true. In fact, it's never true until you do something about it. If you have a spot, now you might be able to get someone else to help if they can get there, right? So in the middle of the night, lightning storm, we're not flying. If there's a lightning storm within 20 miles, we're not flying. If it happens to be, late season, winter, night, we fly with night vision, so that helps. But it's extremely dangerous for us to come in there and do that and help. So the point is, I feel like people need to elevate their concept of what it means to actually be responsible in the woods, and to kind of change the entire concept of like, it's not really that hard. It's not a big deal. Like, you just need to know a few things, and then you need to have a plan. But normalcy bias is strong. And even my coworkers, like my medic coworkers, they're some of them are carrying med kits because I gave them to them.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, one thing to think about too is if you sorry to interrupt. The whole med kit thing is cool, and a lot of guys hunt in teams. And I've said this for years, but like, it really does mean no service if you don't have a med kit in your backpack, and I know where it's located, and I have one as well, and you know where I keep it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then obviously what you're getting at is knowing what everything is inside and how to use it.
Yeah, and
would also be helpful.
yeah, knowing how to use it and having reps. I mean, we all understand reps, medical reps. It's a thing. Like, we do a lot of training. We have to keep up our training. If we didn't continue to train, we would get worse. Just because low frequency skills, Doesn't happen all the time. I mean, this stuff is pretty basic to us as flight crew, but that doesn't mean it still can't erode in process, meaning distracting injuries. You just didn't think about it. But for the normal person out there, like not having something to help you survive and open that window a little bit longer.
Yes, sir.
Open the window a little longer so that then maybe you get up to the road and you get to the truck and you get out to Shoshone Airport where then we can land.
Yep.
Or maybe it's just a ground. But point is, I see a lot of people get hurt and stay put. They don't know how to treat or care for or move a patient. And that's all just kind of like, I'm not saying you have to move every patient, because some patients, it's like, well, they're pretty jacked up. You can't move them. But I've gone to many calls where it's like, there's not a tourniquet there. The dude's bleeding out. And we get there and we have 2 units of blood with him in them within 5 minutes, and the bleeding stopped. And then we take them out and we go to the hospital. Easy, right? Not a big deal. Like, trauma is kind of one of those things where if you can stop the bleed, like you either die from bleeding out or pneumothorax.
Yep. Or
your dome got rocked so hard that the lights went out and you never came back. Neurotrauma, but if it's internal bleeding, there's not much you can do about that. But isolated extremity bleeding or whatever. But point is, in trauma, hemorrhage is the leading cause of death. Pneumothorax is the second leading cause of death. Those are 2 things that are like ridiculously easy to intervene on, especially if it's like an isolated extremity trauma or even like bilateral femurs or something like that. And yeah, it's like a terrible situation. But I've had this. So that night when I was out there bugling by myself, hiking back, actually I got to take a leak. A cougar is stalking up on me, just actually like intent. And I've had plenty of cougars around, and I can tell when something's just curious or this thing was moving in. And like when I usually carry a pistol by myself because I actually don't want to become wolf food. So I just was like, hey, and the thing keeps coming in, and I just drew, and it's like pitch black, and I just like, and then it runs away, and then I spent the next 2 hours doing like a blood grid on the mountain, like singing hymns, because I'm like, well, I know cougars don't like sound, so I'm just gonna make sound, and like the only songs that I really like know that well are like old hymns, and I just like, for some reason I started singing hymns. Don't know why. I just did. I didn't think about it. I just did. I was like, I need to make noise. So I gridded out this thing just to see if I got him. Didn't see him. I'm like, all right, I'm going back to the truck. And I know you know where I was at, but I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to do it on the podcast.
Yeah, don't.
But anyway, I come back up the ridge, start heading back to the truck, and then 2 different wolf barks. Left and right.
Sounds like North Idaho.
It's just North. I mean, it's North Idaho. Like, there's so many wolves out there, right? And these wolves start like making sound around me. So I'm like, they're obviously intent on me. They're not just like, they're not scared of me. So I threw a headlamp on the back and a headlamp on the front, and I'm hiking, singing hymns. And I have this idea about teaching people how to be their own best first responder in the woods.
Self-rescue.
Self-rescue is a thing. Not only is it a thing, it's a thing, but it's not. It's not promoted, and it's not taken to the individual with the responsibility like I'm used to in healthcare. You have people selling med kits that don't have the burden, don't feel that burden inside of like, like all throughout my career, I would empathize with these patients, and feel them and be like, hey, we got to, like, I'm taking care of you, But in trauma situation, it's like you can't take care of them. You're not there. This is how you take care of your people as a society, is you teach them how to take care of themselves and you demystify it. It's like, it's not a big deal. You just need to be ready. Like, elk hunters are some of the most like capable people. And this is just in the concept of elk hunting. It started out with elk hunting. And then I was like, but there's so many other people too. And no one carries this stuff.
Yeah.
And even if you do carry it, you're an outlier. massive outlier to the normal population. There's people that know that I work with that don't carry tourniquets, don't carry med kits. And so my whole concept was like the big lighter of med kits. There's no reason why you shouldn't have one. Everyone should have one.
I like it.
Like every single person, not just the people that are aware of it and have the cognitive growing up to know that that's important. No one's bringing it to people aggressively to show them that you can actually extend your life if this stuff does happen. And there's only a few things that you need to worry about. And if the damage is too great, you're done. You know, it's like if it's broken, it's broken. Like, you know, but to not have the effort to try is just actually unacceptable.
I am so curious to see what you have in yours because, I mean, there's a lot. Like I have med kits from my medic.
There's a lot of med kit
from a
companies
couple
out there.
different subject matter experts that
I mean,
have helped
Peaks
me
sells one.
With, Peaks does?
Peaks just started selling one, but it's my opinion about like Peaks or Montana Knife Company offering an IFAC is that they're offering it because they should. Like someone can buy a med kit if they want one. However, Peaks is not.
I didn't know that I don't
They
have
just
a
started
Peaks first aid kit, and I talk to those guys regularly.
Well, I saw one on their website.
Interesting.
Um,
Open yours up,
just
man. I want to see
recently.
what you got.
But
Let's actually see if Riley
Here.
can name some of this stuff.
how about you open it up?
I want to see what he knows.
So that is actually what you got to give it a little pull.
There we go.
Yeah, that's actually so my whole concept was like when I was creating this company idea, I had a lot of like roadblocks in my mind because I've been in medicine. I've been in the trenches of medicine. I've never started anything up. I've never had to learn about an LLC. I've never done any of that, right? I've just been an hourly wage nurse who's like, this is what we do. So this is not my ultimate goal, but it doesn't matter in medicine. You just need something. The kit is the goal, but the bag, I want to make my own bag and do that stuff. But the point is you need something. It doesn't matter who makes it. Frickin' put it in your pack. But do you know how to use it? And have you trained with it? So
Ask Riley that. What do you got in your hand? Do you know what it is?
Sharpie and tourniquet.
What's the Sharpie part for?
Time you put the tourniquet on, you don't want to leave it on too long.
Why not?
You're gonna kill whatever you.
I don't buy that.
well,
I'm leaving
so
that bitch. I'm leaving it on.
don't ever take it off.
Yeah.
Until you don't take it off. The surgeon takes it off.
Thank you.
But that's so that they just know when you can put it off.
Yep.
Right.
And that's a piece of information that's helpful.
Do you know how to use that?
Yes, I know how to use a tourniquet.
Okay.
Do you know how to use
Bandage pack.
pressure dressing? Do you know what that is?
If I saw it, I think I would. Yeah.
Does it have the chemical?
So this doesn't have this. This is just typically known as an Israeli dressing or
Okay.
a pressure dressing.
Gotcha.
You know that it has the. I actually brought some opened ones.
Yeah.
I would not open this right now.
Please don't.
Just because. Yeah.
Shears.
Cheers, because assessment is everything. And one of the things that we as medical people like really, especially in life flight, dude, we land and we have to get in, get out as fast as possible. So we have to do assessments and distracting injuries. You know about that, but assessment is everything.
Yeah.
If you don't stress assessment, you're not a good medical provider. Slow down, smooth is fast, right?
Yep.
Doesn't mean you're slow about your assessment. It means you have a system, you've tried it, it's true, and you repeat it. And it's a system of assessment.
I love it.
And those are the habitualizations that I'm talking about, where when you're stressed, your efficiency goes down, whatever, 50%, call it whatever. In shooting, right? Like people lose accuracy when you're stressed, like cognitive issues, you lose it when you're stressed. So
Got some wrap.
this is tape because you can literally
That's athletic tape, basically, right?
Yeah, flowers, duct tape, and
Yep.
A coat hanger. You can fix everything.
Yeah.
You know, but this is actually zinc impregnated to be bacteriostatic.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Staple.
scalpel. Never forget your scalpel.
Damn. I've never seen one of those in a med
So
kit.
the reason that's in there is because what do I know how to do? Finger thoracotomy. The leading.
I don't know how to do those.
No, you actually do. How many times have you cut into an elk chest, right?
Yeah.
But
Several.
you might not know the specifics, but if I told you, if I had a 2-minute conversation with you, you'd be confident on how to decompress a chest easy. It would not be a big deal for you to. The hardest thing about this procedure is making the decision to do it.
Yeah.
Which has to do with assessment.
Yep.
Tension physiology, hypotension, tachycardia, hypoxia. Hypoxia isn't actually part of tension physiology, but the second leading cause of death is tension pneumo. So you take a massive hit to the chest.
Yep.
You get up, you're fine. 8 hours later, in the middle of the night, you can't breathe.
You're essentially trying to drain the lung.
Yeah, decompress the lung.
Decompress
the pleural space.
the pleural space.
Yes.
So that you can still create some sort of negative pressure.
Yes.
And have oxygen so that your heart can
Yeah.
pump that to
Yeah.
all the tissues. Got it.
So this right here, like, there's a bunch of cool stuff you can do with a scalpel. I'm not gonna like go and do those things unless I have to, right?
Yeah.
But I did finger Thors on a patient the other night.
Are you serious?
Yeah, on a trauma patient, and it takes about 10 seconds to do both sides of the chest. So it's not like it's a big deal.
Are you coming in right over here? on
Humans are a
between the
lot
ribs?
easier to cut up than elk. Like the
Yeah.
skin is soft.
Yeah.
The concept of cutting into someone's chest needs to be like, so I'm not telling people that they need to go do finger Thors.
Okay.
I'm telling people that that is how you die from trauma. So the assessment is everything. If you don't know how to assess that, you shouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to do this. That's why you need to train and learn all that stuff so you can confidently see, hey, my kid can't breathe. He took a digger. There's no other injuries. He's not bleeding. His abdomen is soft. Just simple assessments. He can't breathe. That's a pneumo. You're not going to know that unless you know that, right? You could save his life just with one little cut in the side of the chest. Now you have to put this on
You got a little drain.
after three-way chest, the sealed, basically chest seal, because if you have a spontaneously breathing patient and have a hole, that actually will continue to fill up with air. So you'll decompress it, and then it'll kind of continue to happen. So this is just so you put that on, so there can be equalization of the pressure and air won't go back in.
Right.
So you can.
That's
you
known
can
as
do
a
that.
sucking chest wound.
Sucking chest wound.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Dude, you're making me like, it's been a while, but I'm
Bro.
getting some flashbacks here.
Bro, it's fun stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because when I do finger Thors, it's like I started Life Flight after I was a hunter, and I've already like cut up animals, and we go to train, and they're like, it's really hard to cut in the chest, and I'm like, that was easy, you know. And then when I started killing elk, like if I kill an elk, I'm like, I'm gonna do a little finger Thor right here. Oh, cool. Like practice it on the elk.
That's
like,
nuts.
you know, like finger Thor on the elk.
Yeah, you're a nut job, and I love it. What else you got?
Stir strips and sponges, so probably for
2x2.
pressure and packing.
So there's not a Band-Aid in there. There's
Yeah.
tape and 2x2s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then steri strips are amazing. Like stabilization of a wound. I mean, I put steri strips on stuff that a lot of people would go to the hospital for in my own mind. Like if I cut myself open, I'm going to put iodine on that, put steri strips on it and assess it. And I'm not going to the
Do
hospital.
you have iodine in there?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So this kit was designed as something you could use. My whole philosophy was like, there's emergency kits. There's like IFAKs. People don't get into them. Their familiarity with them is low. They don't have it as like part of their game plan.
Right.
It's like something that hangs out in the thing. The reason I have iodine in there and the tape and the 2x2s is because I was out hunting. I forgot my gloves, and it was like a 7-day solo hunt. Scrapes everywhere. Scrapes, fingernails got jacked up. I spent like 2 weeks dealing with little micro infections on my hands after, and they were inflamed and painful. If you get a little wound on your hand, you need to treat it. Like small first aid matters.
Yeah.
So a little bit of iodine and some tape means that's going to heal up, or a little iodine, some steri strips. Now that like big gash on the back of your hand, you're responsible in the fact that you put iodine on and you close it with steri strips and there's tape over it. And you could potentially keep hunting. If you put tape over that thing and don't put iodine on that, and just let it be open and you want to keep hunting, that's irresponsible, and it could actually lead to an infection, which could mess with you and like take you out further. So my point is small stuff, big stuff. But really all I'm worried about is like small lacerations and staph. You know, like I don't want to get infected in little stuff. So
rolls of gauze, I guess, would you use these for packing and then whatever else you need?
So that's not actually officially wound packing gauze. The compressed gauze is the wound packing gauze.
Okay.
But that's, yes, any sort of closure. You can do burn dressings out of these.
Oh, yeah.
You can just wrap abrasions.
Oh, there they are.
Those are the compressed gauze.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is literally like everything I use in trauma patients. Like we put tourniquets on, wound pack. And then one thing that needs to be stressed is a neat dressing is an effective dressing.
I believe you.
In our world, we see a lot of even EMS fail to properly dress wounds.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like you should maximize your capability to what your scope of practice is. So the normal citizen, maximize your capability to your scope of practice.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to like learn about the Good Samaritan law, in which case you can do whatever, as long as it's done in good faith. How do you know it's done in good faith? If you can show that you've had really good training and the training is up to date, that's in good faith. And you can display that you did everything that a normal provider would do. However, you're not a certified provider.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have that legal stuff to do unless it's in the Good Samaritan law. So that's the kind of concept here, is like catapulting people into the concept of, yeah, you can do something and you should. Doesn't mean you have to for a stranger. That's up to you. Like, I'm not telling people that they have to go help out with some random person. But if that random person's dad had a kit and knew how to do it, then you don't have to.
Yeah.
And then they would. Or if the ER doc happens to be chilling at the campsite next to you and doesn't have a kit, but you have a kit, you could be like, hey, is there anyone? And he's like, oh, I'm an ER doc. Sweet. Let's go.
Yeah.
So the concept is like providing resources.
That seems very thorough. When are you
It's
going
really
to
not
bring that to market? I mean, it seems good enough, I should say.
It's so that like too much stuff is bad, not enough stuff is bad. I put this together with the actual things that you need for the stuff that actually happens.
Yeah.
And there's stuff like in other kits, like I would never put Tylenol or aspirin in a med kit. That's a joke. Like I don't take Tylenol, I don't take aspirin. It's like, just get off the mountain, and go to the hospital if you have a serious problem.
Yeah.
But this is literally for stuff that will like end your life or, infect your hands, which is like, makes it really hard to hunt. And then you have to deal with that and you get blood in there and it's like, it's just not good. You should be aware of that.
Yeah.
And so it's like some people are selling med kits and I'm not against any of those companies. I want them to keep selling med kits. There's just not enough.
Yeah, you've made that clear.
Like,
I definitely
like,
feel like you've made that
I'm just
clear.
like, yo, we got to make sure we all get on board here. But the training is the key for me. So the med kit comes with the training. You do the training, you get the kit. For now,
that makes sense.
My goal is like, I want to control quality of training.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not just buying a med kit.
How do you get the training?
So the website is going to be live. The website's up, but not built fully yet.
Yeah.
I'm calling it Citizen First Response, CTZN, just to keep it simple.
Keep it short.
Citizen First Response. I'm actually going to be doing...
We're going to provide a link to that, by the way, in the show. No, so people just...
Yeah.
You don't have to write that down. It's in the show notes. Click.
Sweet. So one of my best buddies is Graham McPherson. He's over in Bozeman, and I'm going to be doing a in-service kind of in-house training for him. He started GFC. So I'll be going. So my thought was, how do you get people to want this, the training? People already want to take responsibility and take care of each other.
They do.
It's pretty hard. It's pretty rare for a human not to want to help, right? Like at least most people. Like it has to be some reason why they don't want to help. Most people want to help. They just don't have the stuff and they don't have the training. So the concept is maximize people's confidence through excellent training, and everyone. Because how do you actually save everyone when you can't plan who's going to get hurt? You have to be ubiquitous. You have to be training all these people and get them. It's not really that difficult, you know? Like, you can go take all these training courses and do all this stuff. It's like, if the damage is too bad, it's going to be done no matter what you do. But there are these situations where it will be bad if you don't do this. Meaning, like, if you roll 300 feet down the mountain in your UTV, you're done. Like, your head bleeds are going to kill you no matter what. There's no tourniquet that's going to save you.
Yeah.
Triage at that point.
You're cooked, Riley.
You're cooked.
You're cooked, Riley.
Totally goosed.
Dude, so if I'm hearing you right.
So
and kinda
when are we going to market?
No, my first question, I think if I'm hearing you right, you're saying is you're flipping the script on us. You're saying you don't buy the med kit, you invest in the training, and you get the med kit as a part of that. Is that what you're saying?
For now.
I love that.
That's how I can control it. That's how I can get what I want across.
Is the training online or in person?
In person.
Dang.
Small group. Not 25 people.
You need to host one here.
4 people.
In the
studio.
studio.
So that's why I reached out to you. Was because, so I live in Colbert. I have a basement. I can train in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
I can train people in my basement. So I'm actually going to be going for GFC. That's Graham. Graham started GFC.
That's why I thought when you said the name.
You have a GFC
I know.
over
When
here.
you said the name, I'm like, I know that name. Yeah, Go Fast Campers for those that are wondering what GFC.
Yeah. And so I'm still trying to get Graham to buy an elk tag because he's a Montana resident. I'm like, dude, I will come call for you.
I thought he was out of California.
So, no, he moved to San Diego. Not that, well, he was only there for a little while for GFC.
Yeah.
But he's
back.
native to California.
Right.
His parents moved to Bozeman, probably in the 90s, late 90s, mid 90s. And then he went to Whitworth. I went to Whitworth. We were freshman year roommates. That's how we know each other.
Okay.
Then he transferred back to MSU because he was like a communications major or something at Whitworth. Didn't know what he wanted to do.
Right.
Then he just turned into an absolute animal. Went and did like
Baja.
well, no, at MSU, Montana State University, he did like let's see, not chemical engineering. It was like metallurgy and not chemical, but he went and worked for offshore oil rig for a little while, doing like a job basically that he didn't want to do because he didn't want to be around the environment, and then came back and started GFC with a buddy that he had, and it was awesome watching him get off the ground with that, and I was so stoked for him.
Riley really wants a GFC for his Tacoma.
Dude, right? I mean,
yeah, they're pretty sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, it's funny because...
Do you have one?
No, I don't have one. So I hunt out of a 4Runner, out of a 2004 4Runner.
Mm-hmm.
I would put a rooftop tent on there, but I'm like ridiculously mobile when I hunt.
Mm-hmm.
A GFC would be awesome, and I'll, you know, I always give Graham shit. I'm like, Graham, hook me up, man. You know, but like, I'm a dad with property and kids. I'm not buying a GFC just because, right?
Right.
But Graham and I'm like, Graham, come on, man, just give me a GFC because we're like best buds, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like,
sure.
oh yeah. But Graham's like really hard to get a hold of.
I
like,
bet.
He's like one of those guys who's like, you see him and it's like you never missed a beat, and you couldn't see it. You might have not seen him for like, I don't know, like a year.
Yeah.
And you literally go right back to where we're at. Like, dude, let's go to Vietnam and like get mopeds and drive around for a month. And that's like his idea. And you're like, how about we just like go to the lake? You know?
Yeah,
like,
for the weekend.
Yeah.
Riley, just so if you in the show notes we'll put the website.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to have some classes available, bro.
So that's what I'm doing. So at the model here, I kind of moved from like there's two different approaches. The approach is you go to people that are already motivated,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really easy. Like going to these small companies, like I haven't officialized this yet, but Montana Knife Company, like they need training.
Yeah.
Right. It's like everyone needs training. So you kind of do this, like the dispersion of knowledge, and that's more powerful than me trying to convince you. So in-person training is everything to me because that's what I respond to, and that's how you learn, right? You need to get authoritative knowledge so you can have questions in real time and have the professional talking to you in real time.
Yeah.
So that I can either say, yeah, that's not really a thing, or like it does happen, but this is what you really need to focus on. This is what the book says, but this is what you need to do. Like, you should clear C-spine on your dad so you can tell him to go up the mountain with you. Don't sit there and let him sit in the bottom of the drainage because you don't know whether or not he broke his back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as a bystander, as your family member, you won't get in trouble for that. You should know we shouldn't just sit in the bottom of this drainage, like, unless you absolutely can't move him and you're like, you got numbness, you can't clear C-spine.
Yeah.
That as a concept, this is not like, it's not a medical certification. It's literally demonstration for people to learn and be effective at surviving.
Well, I say once you go live and you kind of do a few under your belt, we'll have you come back and do not a podcast, but we'll probably do like a YouTube video and just do like a quick overview of what they could learn, maybe give away some nuggets and something like that. I mean, I'm pumped you came over today. I really wanted to hear, like, because you said you had this idea brewing for a while. I knew you were an elk hunter. I knew you had insane reps from your job as a first responder, which is really cool. And then you're like we have similar elk hunting styles, which I absolutely love. Riley, did you have
and I wouldn't say I'm a first responder now, because the true first responder is the person who
on the ground
is with you. I'm at this point, like in flight, we are the way you get off the mountain and the way you maximize your survival once you've done your part. The problem is there's a massive deficiency with people's understanding and expectations of what they can do. And I see some training companies out there, they're awesome, and they function great. But there's so many people that I've talked to that don't even know about those companies. And they have to, it's like they have to go out of their way. Even my medic, you can buy my medic and great. But do you know the answers? Like, do you know the game? And so really how you talking and learning from someone who's been there, and the people that I are going to train are my paramedic partners. So it's our crew that wants to do this.
Dang,
like,
that's awesome.
My buddies that I work with on my 24-hour shifts, we're the ones being like, yeah, this happens and this is what you need to do about it. So it's very much more, it's like you don't even need to spend as much energy when you communicate in a super efficient way and give them the real context, and context is everything. So if you can like kind of unleash someone's like mind in that realm, they're actually going to do it versus having the med kit in the backpack and not do anything. Because I haven't seen a single person place a tourniquet on as a bystander since I've been at Life Flight. And how many med kit companies are out there? So I'm like, hey, you guys are selling med kits. That's awesome. If you're in the city, you still need med kits because there's still a time period, like 2 to 3 minutes, you can bleed out in a thigh. Like you can lose blood very fast. So you absolutely need to have the concept of being a first responder with your group. And that's just the start, right? And then there's logistics of backcountry rescue. Will a helicopter even come? Do you have a spot? Is it charged? Is your freaking service up to date? Have you done the reps? And there's this massive normalcy bias that just because you have a med kit, you're prepared. And just because you've done training, you're prepared. It's like training is great, but I want to know that you actually know, not just did the course. Like, which means there's a relationship that gets started, and recurrent training is everything. So it's not even like a big deal on recurrent training. At that point, it's like, hey, how's it going? Are you in your med kit? Blah, blah. It's a relationship. It's a community. And it's opening people's minds to the concept that they are a first responder and they have a massive role in them getting off the mountain. But this isn't just the mountain. It's everywhere because these things can affect you very quickly.
Guys, this is our friend Chris. Appreciate you coming down today.
Dude,
we'll leave a link in the show. Separation is in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.